The inspiration for this salad came from a restaurant that I was at in Italy. Now, it was a combination of raspberries, beetroot and fig. It sounds like it's a bit of a fruit salad, but I'm going to balance it out with a little bit of vinegar and French shallots. Now, for the vinaigrette, raspberries. These fresh raspberries are full of flavour, slightly tart and of course sweet. So I want a big handful of these raspberries in a mortar and pestle. Now I'm going to crush these so they almost turn into a coulis, which is like a raspberry sauce. So about half of this punnet. I'll add a little bit of salt and then we'll break down the raspberries and crush them to release all their juices. And just have a look how vibrant that colour is. Now once they start to release their juices, for me that smells like summer. I love them. Now we need to add a little bit more liquid, so some red wine vinegar. If you can get your hands on raspberry vinegar from delis, use that. It's got a really interesting flavour too. So in with our red wine vinegar, we'll mix that up. And now I want to thicken this and emulsify it a little bit with some olive oil. Now I do want to use quite a robust olive oil for this so we can taste the peppery characteristics of it. And now I'm going to have a taste just to see if it's balanced. Wow, that is so incredible. It's so unusual when we always think that raspberries will just be in a dessert, in a dressing. It works so well. Now to assemble the salad, so very easy, a combination of French shallots. I've just cut them in half and now I'll slice them very, very finely. When you're using shallots like this, they are sweet and they are subtle, but they do need to be thin so they don't overtake the whole dish. So I'm going to use half of this and I'll add it to a large bowl and just break them up. And now to bulk out this salad, a good handful of spinach. This is just baby spinach leaves. You can use frisée for this if you like, or baby beetroot leaves if you can get your hands on them. And now for the beetroot. I've just steamed these beetroots, so 2 whole beetroot. This is a standard size and this is going to take about 40 minutes to an hour to steam or until it's tender. And the best way to find out if it's tender is just to get a sharp knife and just pierce it in the centre. And if it comes out quite easily and doesn't resist, then it's cooked. Now, beetroot does stain, so I recommend getting yourself a glove and then peeling it with the glove. This will ensure our hands won't stain. So once I've peeled all of the skin off the beetroot, I'm going to chop it into big chunks. Okay, so I've cut all of the beetroot without getting any of my hands stained, and then I'll place them into the bowl with our spinach and the shallots. And already you can see how this is going to be delicious because of the beautiful colours that are going into this bowl. And now for the figs. The figs have a really delicious jammy, almost honey flavour that go with the earthiness of the beetroot. So I'm just going to take the top off them. And this is a beautiful fig. You can see that it's perfectly ripe. It's a little bit soft, which means it's going to be sweet in the centre. I'm going to cut that in half just to show you how amazing these figs look. Look at that. Yum-o. Now I want to cut these into big chunks, roughly around the same size as our beetroot. And they can go in. Now for some crunch, some pepitas, just a small handful. And I'll just add a little bit more at the end for garnish. Now we need some saltiness in here, and what goes with beetroot? Feta. You could also use goat's cheese. I'm using some Greek feta here that I'm going to crumble up into small pieces and larger pieces so we get the 2 textures of the cheese. Now for the dressing, a nice big spoonful straight over the top. 2 spoonfuls because it's so good. And then I'll get a fork and a spoon. This is the easiest way, just so we don't bruise everything. Toss all the ingredients together. Oh, it smells so good. And then I'm going to present it on one plate for my lunch. Nice black plate to show off that gorgeous pink colour of the figs and the raspberry and the little speckles of feta that have now turned into a bright pink colour. And then just to finish it off, I love the addition of a small amount of that dressing drizzled over the top, and then a few more pepitas. I love that salad. That salad always reminds me of my travels to Italy. You know, I would never usually choose this on a menu, but I remember tasting it in Italy and it was so unusual. That combination of earthy beetroot, you got the sweet figs, and then the tartness of the raspberries that you would never associate with a dressing. Well, I'll tell you what, it works, especially with a sprinkling of salty feta.